I was thinking about like what would make or what could help, socially, like when it comes to like in communication, communicating with other people, right? And I was listening to this interview the other day between the lady who done the documentary of the 13th and Oprah Winfrey, and something came out of the interview that I just thought about this morning. And so, I just get my little pieces of somewhat like, say, the blocks or the puzzle, to add in my own personal life that I believe will make me better in so many different areas. And, that whole little social dynamic piece is definitely always, to me, a very vital and important piece. So, the fundamental aspect of socialization is communication. So whenever you form any kind of rapport with anybody, it initially starts out with communication and understanding that 70% of what we say is said through our body language. Just the way you walk and the way your posture, the way you dress and so forth. They also say that the way you drive is also a reflection of your personality or your characteristics. But the other piece is of course, verbal communication. And from the words we use, the facial expressions while we're talking, the hand gestures, the body language, the voice volume, the voice tone, all that communicates. So most people who communicate don't communicate with that level of consciousness though. They just talk but don't realize when a person said, why you look like that when you say that? Or why you look like that when I say that? They'll be like, what? Well, I don't know. But the thing about it is that for a person to ask that question, sometimes they're more conscious of the fact that, or they're more conscious of all your body language as you listen to them, as well as you talk. So your body language, your facial expressions, your tone and all that reveals something in your mind that you may not be verbally expressing. Or it may reveal why you're saying what you're saying in a sense. Like I have a word in my mind I don't want to use it, I'm not sure if I'm using it correctly, but it's something like the thought behind what you're actually putting out. You know what I'm saying? And being more mindful of that as we communicate, I think helps convey and express more accurately what we are really trying to convey to somebody, and again, man, if I don't know about you, but I'm very I look at my social relationship as very important things, no matter what the nature of it, no matter the length of it, and whichever way that we deal with each other, I want it to be in a healthy, productive way. A positive way. No matter if we talk every blue moon, I want it to be the kind of establishment between you and I that whatever we do and however we talk and whatever that is productive, that the energy is good and it's always like that. So when I don't have that with people or someone, I have a tendency to let you go, because anything outside of that I feel is kind of like extra unnecessary for me in my stage of development and where I sit right now today. But anyway, this is a piece from the interview. What I want to convey to you all is that, when you meet someone, sometimes we have a tendency just to make conversation, and we want to speak sometimes we'll just say anything or ask any kind of question just to make conversation, or we'll ask the kind of question that has been somewhat conveyed or transferred or expressed to be a question that we should ask. But they might not necessarily be questions that you really care about. You really care to know the answer to. I myself sometimes, to give you an example, I've talked to people that didn't know their name, or hadn't even asked their name, or haven't even considered to ask their name. And the thing is, because for me, while I understand under certain contexts, names are important. Like if you tell someone about someone, or if you need to ask about that person, which I think is the last thing we should do, getting someone else's perception of someone. But those are the two times you kind of like someone want to know the name, because I guess today people kind of think you're crazy when you talk about someone but you don't know their name. But the name itself, the reason why it don't really necessarily just one of those things not that important to me in the beginning is because I asked though, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying it's not important because it doesn't really say who you are. Your name to me doesn't really give me those. You can tell me your name is Boo Boo, you know what I'm saying? So it's not going to tell me a whole lot about you though, you know what I'm saying? And so anyway, in this interview, one of the things that was brought out was the way you really connect with someone when, you know, having a conversation, especially someone you don't really know. And even if it's someone you know, and you've been in a relationship a long time, try to make a habit of asking questions that you genuinely and really have an interest in. You know, things about that person, I'm saying. Not like some stuff going on in the world. I mean, which is cool too, if y'all both share the same interests. When it comes to stuff outside of YouTube, then you want to ask questions that you believe y'all both have a genuine interest about. If not that, and you ask questions about that person's life or that person, things about that person, ask only questions about that person that genuinely interest you. Because see, the thing about that is that when you do that, it is felt. And it is, you know, it just receives a whole different way. When a person knows when you're really interested in them or not. You know, and one thing about us is that everybody like talking about themselves. You know, we'll go on and on, and you'll really get a real good connection and bond with someone when you're, when you love listening to someone talk about themselves. But the only way you're going to really be interested in someone talking about themselves is if they're talking about something that you already have a genuinely interest in about them. Outside of that, I'm talking about whether you see it, believe it or not, people pick up when you're not really listening. And one thing about it, when someone's talking about something that you're not really interested in, we have a tendency to be distracted or get our attention pulled so easily by whatever's going on in the room or on the phone, like texting and talking to someone while you're on the phone, or talking to other people, or watching TV while you're talking to them, or whatever it is. And you know, that can be very like disrespectful and inconsiderate, you know. And so you don't want to start off a relationship if you really like trying to get to know someone, or you really care about someone. You don't want to deal with them like that, because you don't want to be dealt with like that. So that's just the whole little point. Is just try that and see what it's like, you know. But just watch the difference in the whole conversation when you really ask them about stuff that really interests you, like about them, or stuff that interests both of you too. You know, that you know more than believe or hope, that interests both of you. So that's my word. I just wanted to share that perspective. Gerald Truth's Enlightening Mind Enterprise. Student of life, man. All I have is perspectives, and I just like to share my perspective. Don't mean I'm right, don't mean I'm wrong. Just a shift in perspective. So peace and blessings. Y'all have a good Tuesday. Peace.